Well, you just heard Lieutenant General Michael Flynn say that if we really want to combat and defeat ISIS, it's going to be violent. Well, some do not see that as an answer. Earlier, we assembled a powerful panel, unlike any we have ever had. Among those present, terror attack survivors from Orlando and from Fort Hood. First responders, including the woman who shot Nidal Hassan in Fort Hood. Those on the left and the right, and members of the Muslim community. Watch this.
After all of the wars that we fought, after all the Iraqis that have been killed in the name of the United States of America since 1991, all the blood that's been spilled, no doubt, heroically, we are still no safer. So maybe we should start to think of ways of dealing with this that does not directly involve killing more people or having more wars. Crazy liberal idea, I know.
I have to let a veteran respond to that.
The problem is ISIS sprung up when we stopped in the area and we stopped killing bad guys in the area. So you can go love them and you stick your head in the sand, and then when they come back and they kill your family, I'll be there to back you up.
We shouldn't be giving the impression that because those in this room who are willing to say radical Islam is at war with the United States, that it's a condemnation of Islam. You know, that seems to be a false choice that others impose. Why can't you have both ideas in your head? That Islam is a peace-loving religion, but that it can be corrupted to a place where it's political and it's radical and it's dangerous.
But there's no problem.
Go ahead.
No problem ever. You know, when the Tea Party was up and coming, they had no problem throwing the Tea Party into the bus and calling them racist. Why can't they call it what it is? How do you fight something that you can't call out? You need to call it out. You need to stop thinking about these kumbaya, and your bumper sticker is bleeding all over the place.
Kimberly,
so
go ahead.
Spare me.
Go ahead, Kimberly.
I completely agree with you because we toss up the word political correctness. Well, I'm sorry, that's the problem, because if we exclude his pledge to ISIS during the attack, we exclude Hassan being able to go up in his own free will and announce his pledge to what at the time was the Taliban, and then he switched over to ISIS, whatever's the going factor at the time, and we suppressed that information. That information is not put out to the public because it's politically sensitive.
What do you think? What do you think of the push on guns? I'm curious.
The push on guns is a whole different story. They can throw that out there on every serious, terrorist attack out there. That's not the problem. He was on a watch list. He shouldn't have been able to buy a weapon. That's plain and simple. But that's not the solution, because they're going to get the weapons. They're going to get the pressure cookers. They're going to get whatever they want to get to accomplish the goal.
Go ahead. I've got to go, but you go ahead, sir.
What the problem is that you look at our young future leaders, just like they were saying that these kids don't have anything to look up to because our administration has failed, because of economics, because of how they're teaching our kids. They're spending more time in teaching our kids to pass the intergrade test than they are teaching about the values that will make this country great. Then when someone said that the Islamics, when they go in and kill people, they were only looking for Muslims to kill, when we got hit, Megyn Kelly asked those 14 people that died that day, if you were Muslim, if you were Christian, if you were Jewish, you whatever. He just started shooting and said, Allahu Akbar. And even when we was having a trial, the man said, Inshallah, it's God's will. We got to call it what it is, because you got to grab the snake by the head, you got to kill it. And you cannot do it nice. I've never seen anybody win a fight fighting nice. You got to change the rules of engagement, because us military personnel here, we've been there, we've done that. It's hard when you see somebody making an IED and you can't take the person out because you got to get permission from the higher ups. That's the snake right there. As far as guns is concerned, I'm a dad and I'm a school teacher. When I went down, my son, I was a single father at that point, my son came into my hospital room. He said, Dad, from now on, if you should fall, I will step up. He knows how to operate everything in my arsenal. And that's how it's going to be. Yes, you had to fight fire with fire.
Extraordinary. And we have much more from that panel. Tune in to the Kelly File special, Terror in America, this Friday at 9. And trust me, you do not